It's Sunday, October 15th. Got my orange on because it is youth season here in Kentucky. Couldn't get out yesterday, which probably should have been out here yesterday. It was about as perfect as it can get for an October weekend. And I just had too many other things to do. Couldn't make it out to the stand yesterday, but I'm in the tower blind overlooking this food plot. And on my way in, there were deer bedded all through the fields that I have to walk through to get here. And then there was at least 3, if not 4 deer at the feeder, about 65 yards at the end of this food plot. So I definitely bumped some deer coming in, but my wind was blowing right in my face the entire time. So I'm pretty sure they don't know what's going on. But all those deer took off. But we're going to settle in here. We got about an hour before sun comes up. So hopefully I'll see at least that 9 point this morning and make a determination whether I want to take that deer or not. But I'll talk to you a little bit more about that when we get back to the truck. All right, so as you can see, I'm back in the truck and I got skunked this morning. I mean, I seen 3 or 4 doe coming across the field up to this feeder that's right outside of my truck here. And obviously I went and got the truck and brought it over here because I'm getting ready to pull cards. But Friday night, the landowner, or actually the neighbor to the landowner, called me and asked me if I'd seen the landowner's son's dog, and that they had basically a search party going on out here on the farm looking for this dog. And haven't been out here since then, so I don't know, how far down in the woods they got, things of that nature. So I'm getting ready to pull cards now, kind of see what kind of disruption that made to the farm and getting the deer moving around. But on my way in, like I said, I didn't bump. I mean, just there was tons of deer bedded out in the fields while I was walking to that blind. So obviously, if they did push them out, they came right back. But I wanted to know about my bucks. So I've had 7 to 10 new bucks show up out here over the past week. One being my 9-pointer that I let walk last year. And he looks almost identical, maybe a little bit longer in time length. So kind of confirmed that last year I thought he was 4.5 years old. I would say he's 5.5 this year. He's got a split G2 on his right side. No, I'm sorry. He's got a split brow tine on his right side, and he's got a flyer off his G2 on his left side. So pretty unique deer. No, he's 5.5. So if that deer were to walk out, I'm pretty positive that he's gonna make the cut. So I want to check these camera cards, see what I've got, and then just kind of formalize that plan for this afternoon. I do know that like today, between 3 and 5 is supposed to be like really ideal situation, ideal conditions. So these deer hopefully will be up on their feet early tonight. So I'm going to get in here about 2 o'clock, get all settled in, and then sit until dark if it takes that long. But I'm going to pull these cards and see what kind of intel I got over the past night. See if, them moving around the farm at night and things like that really bumped the deer out of here, if anything's even showed up at all. So I'm going to check these cards. I'm going to go and get something to eat. I'm going to get back in this blind at right around 2 o'clock today and sit until dark. It's about, 10 after 3. Been up into the stand or in the tower here for a few minutes. As I was walking in, there was already a doe getting ready to leave the wood line to my left. And she just kind of stood there and looked at me until I got underneath that hill. But she still hasn't popped up here yet. So they were already getting ready to start moving. I just got hung up at the house trying to get some things done. But headed back out here. I pulled those cards this morning when I left on 8 different cameras, and the big 9. I don't know. I almost want to call this dude Grandpa, because last year after seeing him in person, I filmed this deer twice. I let him walk opening morning at 62 yards down here at the end of this field at this feeder. He was standing there with a doe opening morning of Modern Gun, and I don't know, he spent most of the morning with me because he worked his way around. He popped up in these woods over here, and about 11 o'clock he crossed the field. And that was last year. So really excited to have him back. And then I've got a 10-point and another 9-point that moved in here late November into December last year and stayed all the way through the end of season. But I haven't seen those 2 deer pop up yet. But this big 9, he's now a 10 actually, because now on his right side he's got a split brow tine. But he was in here last night right at sunset. So sunset is 7:07, and he was in here at 7:07 right underneath my stand, 200 yards from here. So I'm making a beeline directly this way. I would love to be in that stand tonight, but I can't do it because of the wind. So the wind's hitting me in my face and blowing basically back out here into this field. So I'm giving up the field behind me, but the bedding's across from me. I got all this food plot. I got the feeder down here to my right. I got another feeder 200 yards that way. Well, the feeder's probably about 175 yards that way. But I think it'll be a pretty good set tonight. So pretty excited to have this deer show back up. I've got like 8 or 9 new bucks, most of them 2-3-year-olds. And then he's the biggest of all of the deer that I know of on this farm right now. Big, you know, he ain't got a huge rack, but just real chocolate antlers. If you look at his body right here, his belly's real low, real saggy. So, I mean, I'm wondering if this deer isn't 6, 7, 8 years old. So, because he didn't put on really any tine length from last year, maybe a little bit longer, and then he split out that that brow tine. But he's still got that flyer on the left side off his G2. So, hoping to see him tonight so I can either shoot him or determine if I want to shoot him, and then we'll go from there. But guys, it's that time of year. Anything could show up out here at any time. So keep hanging in there, and I'll get back to you at the end of this hunt. Stay tuned. What's going on, everybody? Back at it again. It is October 20th, so we are one day away from early season muzzleloader here in Kentucky, and really excited about that. Really give me the first chance to extend my range a little bit, but again, weather is not cooperating. So tomorrow morning, horrible conditions. Probably will not hit the woods tomorrow until about 11 o'clock and then sit until dark. But getting out here today, going to the farm, and again, it's a west-northwest wind tonight. Not really excited about the wind. Not going to be able to get to where I want to go with that wind. So I'm headed to the bottom. Going to sit up in that blind that looks over at that fence gap. Really good pinch point. I've got a bag of rack 1 with me. So I'm going to throw a bag of rack 1 down. Really the intent for that is as they're crossing through that pinch point, it's something that just holds them up for a few seconds, give me a good ethical shot. I've got the Tinks trophy buck with me. Gonna get that sprayed and doused all on that fence corner post right there. So just really putting that smell out. I want to do everything I can to slow down the movement as they go through that pinch point this evening, but I don't have real high expectations. It's 61 degrees. It's partly cloudy. The wind is pretty brutal. It's been brutal all day. We got some storms that rolled through last night. Got some much needed rain though, but it rained last night, had some storms roll through. Really hasn't been great conditions so far today. It gets a little bit better as far as that barometer is concerned, moving into about 5, 6 o'clock tonight. So I'm going to get in early, right at 2 o'clock. It's going to be about 2:30, 3 o'clock by the time I get there and hike in, get that corn smack from rack 1 put out, get that trophy buck put out from Tinks. So yeah, I'm throwing some things at it today, but not really excited about my odds or my chances tonight. Tomorrow morning, horrible conditions. So I'm probably not going to hunt tomorrow. Even though it's muzzleloader, I'm probably not going to get out and hunt tomorrow morning and wait until about 11 o'clock. get into that food plot. By then, my wind should be changing directions, perfect for that set and that tower blind. And I'm going to get in there tomorrow, like I said, about 11 o'clock, get all set up and just sit the rest of the day till dark. All right, everybody, it's right at 3 o'clock. I'm all set up, and it's super windy. You can hear it rushing through the trees on the top of the trees, but I'm down here in this bowl, so it's not bad down here. And it's still pretty consistent on my way in with that northwest wind. It was blowing right in my face the entire way into this blind setup. So I know I didn't blow anything from that bedding area out over there. And then over this hill and into the bowl to my left about 100 yards is probably one of the best bedding areas on the property. So I know I didn't mess anything up there. There's fresh poop all in this pinch. I should have filmed that, but I didn't. But there's poop everywhere. So at 15 yards from the blind, I've got that rack one, that corn smack put out. And then I walked over to the corner post where that gate's at, and I just doused that tree in Tink's trophy buck. And so, and then I sprayed it over here, and yeah, it blew back in my face, but that's fine. I'll smell like trophy buck. It's not a bad thing until you're trying to walk out and it's dark and one thinks that you want to fight. So that could be bad, but all set up. Like I said, 3 o'clock, northwest wind, so a perfect wind condition for this set. I really wanted to be over in the food plot in the tower blind or overlooking that other feeder, but wrong wind for those sets. So we're set up here, and hopefully I'll catch something transition out of that bedding and headed over to the food plot, which is about like 600 to 800 yards that way, but that's the bedding area they come from typically. So excited. I'm not really too optimistic about tonight, but you never know. It's starting to get that time of year, and who knows. So we're going to sit in here until dark, and if it doesn't work tonight, we got all weekend to make it happen with the smoke pole. So all right, everybody, back at it again. It is Saturday, October 21st, so I got the orange on. It's muzzleloader season, early muzzleloader season here in Kentucky. I did not hunt this morning. Conditions were not favorable, but I've got a stiff southwest wind blowing between 14, 15 miles an hour with 25 to 30 mile an hour gust. And so I came in this way with the wind in my face. I'm on the back side of the farm overlooking this bottom in this field. Big bedding area over here to my right. Big bedding over here to my left. Pinch point right in front of me at 150 to 200 yards. So it's 71 degrees. Not really excited. It picks up, the barometer goes up, pressure goes up between, 4 and 6:30. So hopefully between that time we'll get these deer up and moving. I have no idea. I wasn't here this morning. I haven't come in here and pulled cards. I pulled that one card from where I hunted last night, and a ton of doe all walked right in front of that blind for a week. But last night they came in from behind me. Go figure. So hopefully the wind's not messing up my video too bad here, but I'm going to settle in. It's 2:50 right at 3 o'clock. So we've got plenty of time, get all settled in here, and hopefully I'll have something transition from one bedding to the other here before too long. Stay tuned. All right, good morning, everybody. I am back at it again, and it is, October 22nd, so Sunday, and it's the last day of early muzzleloader here in Kentucky. Last night, I didn't have any luck. I seen two doe about 150 yards off across that bottom that I'm letting grow up and kind of be a little deer sanctuary. But just saw them for a brief second as they kind of cut through that thick stuff. And that was it. I didn't have a single deer across that field last night before dark anyway. And yeah, so packed out of there, but I'm back this morning. It's 49 degrees, so significantly colder, like over 20-degree drop overnight. Totally opposite wind, so now we're on a southwest wind, I think. Correction, northwest wind. Last night was a southeast, so I've got the right wind to set up in the food plot. It's not perfect, but as the morning progresses, it's going to switch over to, you know, more of a westerly or easterly wind. Excuse me. So by the time that prime time is this morning, about 10 o'clock, and between 10 and 6 this afternoon is prime. The barometer's going up, high pressure, but I'm going to sneak in here this morning. I feel real confident, but I've got my secret weapon. Guys, I'm getting ready to deploy the Tank 69 for the first time this season. And if there's a buck in the area, they'll find that. So I've got the P fuser with me, and then I've got the scent reel that I'm going to load up and put up here on this point right at 100 yards from that blind. So the wind direction's right, the temperature's dropped, I've got Tank 69 in the air. It should be a good day. So hopefully you hang in there with me. It's going to be a long day. I'm going in here, I'm hiking in, I got my goodie bag with me, and I'm sitting here all day long if that's what it takes. So guys, come along for the ride. You've been here this long, might as well hang in to the end. Hopefully we'll make something happen. Stay tuned. All right, so 14 plus hours in a 5x5 blind on the top of a 20-foot tower all day, nonstop, and I'm exhausted. Did not see a deer all day long. Didn't see a deer this morning, all through the day, and then about 45 minutes before dark, I mean, they just came out of the woodwork. I bet you I've seen at least 25, if not 35 deer throughout all the fields and all the different areas. And then right as legal, maybe 5 minutes before legal shooting. Now I know this camera, I was shooting from my phone, and I got the 15 Pro Max. And guys, it's crazy. Like, it'll take the moonlight and make it look like it's daytime. So it does a pretty awesome job at getting low light footage. But these videos that you just saw or whatever, definitely dark. But had those 4 little bucks, yearlings, maybe, you know, they were all yearlings. I mean, even at 8 point, he was, I'm pretty sure he was just a year and a half old. But anyway, I finally had to do my lame attempt at a coyote bark or a coyote howl to clear the field. And they took off, and then all I heard was just hooves stomping across the fields behind me. So the whole field was just full of deer. So pretty exciting, but no mature bucks. And then I got all the way hiked back up to the truck, which was, I don't know, 400-ish plus yards. And I forgot my P fuser. My Tink's P fuser was still in the dang on tree across the field from me, along with that I don't know, that wick. I can't even think right now. But I got in the truck and I was like, screw it. I've already had to, you know, clear the fields. So I drove back out there and got my P fuser and the Tink's buck bomb, or whatever you want to call it. And then I was like, well, heck, I'm already back here. Might as well pull cards. So drove around just the top fields, pulled 5 cards, and not a single mature buck on camera either. So I don't know. I'm assuming, you know, the October lull, whatever. I know big bucks are hitting the ground right now, but at least where I'm at, I didn't have a lot of big bucks to begin with that I know of. Even my 9 points missing. So I would say the mature bucks have probably got that first, you know, estrus, not estrus though, but before they come in heat, they'll lock them down, stay with them, tend them until they do come into heat, breed them, and then move on. I'm thinking that might be what's going on, but I don't know. I don't have a mature buck on camera and haven't for like 2 weeks. So anyway, excited night, but could have filled my tag, could have filled all my doe tags, but just wasn't out there to shoot a doe right now. So guys, I'm going to sign off. I appreciate you hanging in here with me. I'm sure it's going to ramp up. We've got, you know, public land, quota hunts, all these different things coming up. Drew just got back from Canada, where they just went up there and totally destroyed all of the birds in Canada. I don't even know if they left any birds up there for anyone else to get, but he had an awesome trip. I'll be bringing you that footage. Still got to get Keenan's daughter's buck, nice buck down. Got to get that footage out to you guys. So got a lot coming up, but right now I'm going to get in here. I'm going to get out of these clothes. I'm going to go take a shower. I'm going to eat some dinner. I'm going to pass out because I got to be at work at 5:30 in the morning. So guys, until next time, wake up and hunt.